Like that, even though it's mine while I'm having sex with it, it's never mine. And that's what I need to understand about the collective consciousness of the public. Even though it might be mine for a second, I might be laughing in it and getting my way for a second. At the end of the day, it's never mine. It always shifts to the next voice, to the next body. And that's the hardest thing to learn. And it's connected with drug use. Like you put you're all into the moment and you don't see the burnout till you realize how far the public is taking that energy and using it for its own gain after you're done. Just being safe and knowing my safety and being okay that I'm indoors 18 hours a day and I'm outdoors maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Knowing that I'm safe in what I know and what I'm conscious of. In my walking and my choices, when I go outdoors, I know what the outcome is at the end of the day. As long as something growth doesn't happen. Just practicing the same thing every single day, taking the same steps, making up the same bed, using the same soaps, eating the same foods, having the same conversation with the same person in the same room creates a routine, or almost a safety routine where you're in the thick of something that does the same thing all the time. The muscles operate in the same way. It keeps you guarded. So you don't have to worry about the what ifs of going out to the club on a random night or meeting some guy. It's so scary just fucking dating. It seems like every single time I turn on social media, some girl is breaking up with some no good guy, or somebody that got raped and murdered, or caught in some crossfire, or some no good guy is just running through them and not replacing, just creating doormats out of their hearts. And it's scary as hell. You don't know where to turn. It's maddening almost. You got to be careful, you know what I mean? You got to find other things to do to keep you out of that circle. It's so fucking scary. Everything is too, the standards are so high and so impossible. I've been out of that loop for so long. Everything is impossible. One night stands are impossible. That's how long I've been out of the loop. And those are probably the cheapest. Those things are so free, they're giving them away on street corners. And I still think it's impossible. My ability to engage in that behavior is so scarred and so dumb and so nervous and scared that I have a metal block up that won't even allow me to think in that direction. That's how safe I've gotten to my celibacy. Like, it's just this big old cushion, this big old thick, like, polar cushion on top of me. And it just blocks me from thinking in any direction that'll harm the direction that I'm walking in. Like, sometimes I cuddle up in my pillow at night and these random thoughts start running through my head. And it's like, I know that I'm okay. I don't have to worry about what's going on with some girl, or with a girl and her choices and the man she chose to be with. He's taking her money, taking her car, cheating on her, running around the neighborhood, dogging her car out, smoking drugs, and got these guys in her house. Just ugly shit. Just ugliness. And what she doesn't see is she may love him. In the name of love, a lot of people think love means alienation. Like, they get in relationships with, like, it's ride or die time, and they immediately just start shutting other people out so they can be the star in the sky with all the space around them. A lot of people fail to realize is that black space between the stars is like dark matter. It's just a conductor between the stars. It's how they communicate with each other. And sooner or later, that interconnectedness is going to alert someone of the dysfunction. But you need some level of dysfunction just to be alive today. If you try to step into the perfection that the world expects of you, you either turn into a robot or you'll die. Something will happen to you so severe it just kills you. So a lot of people put their flaws up front, and then they run through their flaws. They manipulate. That's their intelligence. That's how they navigate their way through life. Not everybody can do so. I mean, I'm a woman that was broken before technology came out. So me even trying to step into that perfection it's too much. It's way too much. It's too volatile. So I stay to simple things. I have a simple cell phone, and I'm just trying to learn just enough to keep my podcast up. I don't know how to connect app to app. I don't know how my Twitter app, my Twitter account, link that to my LinkedIn account, which links to my Facebook, which links to my Instagram, to my podcast, to my YouTube, and then you can use that to shop on Amazon, and I have no idea how that works. No idea. And I think that's for my own good. I don't know what I'm expecting from this podcast, but I had this feeling where I wanted to create a material property out of my thinking and out of expressing those thoughts. And I've been working hard and I've been pushing out material, but it's not getting anywhere. And I'm trying to make it get seen on Twitter and things like that, but I don't know who to befriend on Twitter that would listen to what I'm talking about. I done befriended writers and the NFL app. Why would the NFL app be, oh, look at Isha's verses, let's see what this is? No. The complexity drowns me out of the picture before I can even turn the motor and get the thing started. It's being just shutting everything out, shutting people out. Get them out of your life. I'm telling you, interconnect with yourself and get these people out of your life. They drain so much energy from you. It's ridiculous. How can you let them use you so bad that you're too weak to even fix yourself at the end of the day? That's not healthy. That's not healthy. Get back in touch with you and shut the world out for a little while. Believe me, you'll be a better person for it. I've been going through it a little bit for this holidays and talking about what's been going on with me in 20, especially in 20 years of uncertainty. There's a lot of things I didn't even speak on. A lot of things I went through that my physical body was going through, I didn't even speak on it. You know what I mean? I believe me, I'm not as encouraged as I may sound. I have a lot of haters in the back of my mind saying, laughing at my attempt and you're too old for this. Ain't nobody listening to you. As soon as you step up in this game, you're going to feel it and we're going to shut you down. We're going to expose you. I mean, the things I hear, I'm like, is this even happening? Am I hearing this correctly? I gotta keep on finding Jesus in the middle of the hour. People are they think I'm some kind of a tarot card. And if they turn me at the right time, I'm supposed to fix everything that's wrong in their life. The issue is, I can help you, but I can't fix anything. I can help you maybe think more safely and to put things in perspective before you make your decisions. But there's no way in hell if something disastrous happens and then I'm supposed to fix it instantaneously. Life never works. I had to learn that my life didn't work that way. It happened to me first. As much as people think I'm this cool person, the bad shit happened to me first. Me turning to people for certain types of help and me just getting the reality check everywhere I turn. Me going to tarot cards looking for some supernatural miracle and then getting a reality check. Running out trying to make rap and music and then getting a reality check. And then I'm like, I go through all these motions, running to a cigarette, or running to a marijuana, or running to my job, and then my behavior in the streets making it to my job, and then me getting ousted from my job. Like, I went through so many freaking reality checks, and then I finally came to a circumference of it, and I sat down, and now they're looking for wisdom from me, wisdom I just don't have. It's just like wisdom that I just don't have. And the wisdom I do have, it's very minute, and it works for me because of what I've been through. You know what I mean? And then, I gotta look at, how far I let, these things about me get out in the streets. People that if they use you and they're living in your head rent free, and you let them live there for a long enough time, they'll invite their friends over, which is kind of like the worst thing that can happen. Just before things get so complex that you can't even get your thoughts out straight, you just gotta just be alone and interconnect with you. And even if you're talking to yourself at the end of the day, just keep going till you figure out the gaps in the voice, and just fill them up with love in yourself, and then just exhale and just don't speak. The thing is, I want to be famous. I want to speak and be out there, but I don't want everybody in my business to affect that it's a functional business. That they're in my personal life so bad that my personal life is a functioning business. That scares me the most. Well, I wanted to be literal today. I wanted to read from the words of Noone. I wanted to get poetic and get literal and just like enjoy a good piece of book. That didn't happen. I ended up talking about drugs and interconnectedness, and I rambled half the time because what I wanted to really talk about is Nick Cannon. And I know yesterday I talked a little about Tony Baker and the crush I have on him, which is, I'm happy it's subsiding some. But Nick Cannon his youngest son passed away over the weekend. He had a tumor in his brain. Young baby, not even a year old yet, just young. And he passes away. How do you console him when he wasn't taking, when you see an issue in the child, and then you're aware of it, and then you're kind of, trying to fix it, and you're waiting it out, and then, is the doctor going to go in the baby's head? Is it going to get worse? Do you have to put him down? You know what I mean? That type of, when a death bounces around a situation and then creates a living room, and it's setting up resonance, like it's leaning in on your child, and your feelings are getting grinded daily. And you let go of that child, it's like you see it coming, but you don't want to see it. And then there's those who lose child unexpectedly. Like death wasn't leaning on anything. We were just in this arena in Disneyland, and all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, you know what I mean? I just lost my child. It's like trying to understand the struggle in a situation. But he has his, his TV show, and it's public, and he has his other children and his family, they're all around him. But I look at it, you know what I mean? I'm looking at him and losing his child, and how is death leaning on a situation. Or you have someone who was walking down the street with their child, and all of a sudden a drive-by shooter comes in, and the child gets killed in a crossfire, where you were just in heaven, then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Death doesn't just start leaning in slowly where you can expect it. It just snatches your child's soul out of his chest, and then runs down the street with it, and then leaves your child lifeless in your arms. You know what I mean? When it hits you so hard, it knocks the breath out of you. And not that Nick isn't as traumatized. I'm sure he is just as traumatized. But when death leans on the situation, it's almost like